Erling Haaland has established himself as one of the most dangerous strikers in the game of football.
Oh, that's a great ball! Oh, it had to be!
But things did not go all his way from the start. This story is about a young skinny boy whose coach doubted his frail stature, but defied all doubts and became the nightmare of every goalkeeper. It all started on the 21st of July 2000 in Leeds, West Yorkshire, England. He's not from Leeds anyway. His father played for Leeds City at the time. As he grew, he tried his hands at different sports. But in the end, he fell in love with his father's career, football. He has grown since then, from a young skinny chap to one of the world's most dangerous strikers, bagging numerous goals for club and country. His name? Erling Haaland. It's 2004, and Haaland moved away from Leeds to his hometown, Bryn in Norway. After playing for Leeds City and Manchester City in the UK, Haaland's father, Erling Haaland, had to end his career early at 30 due to knee injury problems. But no issues. He had a son to train to carry on his football legacy. And even though Haaland found himself trying out other sports like handball, golf, and track and field, he ended up on the football pitch. Haaland started his football career at Club Brugge, and it was evident to everyone what a huge talent he was. He didn't spend so much time on the sidelines before being allowed to join other starter kids. Even though he was the youngest, Haaland kept scoring goals. At 15, Haaland moved to Brugge's second team and had a record of 18 goals in 14 games. That's crazy! His coaches admitted he was a good player, but there was a but. Haaland was too skinny. The young goal-scoring machine lacked some muscles, but who cares? That never stopped him from scoring anyway. He was promoted to Brugge's first team after 3 months. It's 2017, and Molde Football Club announced the signing of 16-year-old Erling Haaland. It was a big move for the young lad who was coached by none other but Norway and Manchester United legend Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. It was a dream start for Haaland at Molde, as he scored a goal on his debut to help Molde win 3-2 against Volda TI. Following that match, Haaland had a decent but not so impressive run that season, scoring just 4 goals in 20 appearances. This never reduced the manager's faith in him, and in the following season, it was a bang! It's 2018, and Haaland's beastly, goal-thirsty form began to take true shape. He started off by undoing the unbeaten league leaders, Brann, scoring a hat-trick +1, 4 goals in a match, and his manager started comparing him to Romelu Lukaku. He also revealed after that match that he has been rejecting offers for Haaland from different clubs. But at the end of that season, he couldn't hold on to Haaland anymore. Young Haaland's good run of 16 goals in 30 matches had big clubs calling for his signature. It's January 2019, and even though Haaland was approached by Leeds City, a club in the city of his birth and a former club of his father, after visiting RB Salzburg and falling in love with their project, he chose them instead. Salzburg signed Haaland for $8 million, but the much-anticipated banging start at Salzburg never happened, and Haaland's performance was not so impressive. At that time, Salzburg had a well-performing striker, Munas Dabur, who scored 37 goals in 48 games, barely giving game time to Haaland, who had to watch mostly from the sideline. Maybe a switch to Salzburg was a mistake in his career. Well, we'll find out. Haaland never stopped believing in himself despite the lack of game time at Salzburg, and when he had the chance to play outside of the club, he made headlines. It was an international match between Norway and Honduras. Haaland scored 9 goals. It was breathtaking. At his return to Salzburg, a new coach had been hired, and this time, it was a coach who believed in young players and gave Haaland enough playtime. Haaland never took the chance for granted. He spent extra hours on the training ground, watched more videos of his heroes, Zlatan Ibrahimovic and Cristiano Ronaldo, and read a lot about dieting and resting. He started performing well under the new coach, scoring goals regularly. Hat-tricks were nothing but child's play to him, and he broke a record on his Champions League debut for Salzburg. It's September 2019, and Salzburg played against Genk in the Champions League. He bagged a hat trick, And in the following group match games against Liverpool and Napoli, he scored again. 1 goal against Liverpool and 2 against Napoli. In the reverse fixture against Napoli, Haaland converted a penalty, making him the first teenager to score in his first 4 matches in the Champions League. Again, at the end of that season, Salzburg could not keep Haaland for themselves. The big clubs came calling, including Manchester United, Chelsea, and Juventus. But Haaland signed up for the yellow and black German club, Borussia Dortmund, after they triggered his release clause of $20 million. His debut at Dortmund was historical. Dortmund was losing 1-3 to FC Augsburg, and the manager decided to risk it all. He subbed on Haaland, who did the unthinkable. Haaland scored a hat-trick within 20 minutes to give Dortmund the lead and became just the second player to score a hat-trick on their debut in the Bundesliga after Aubameyang. He scored a brace in the next match against FC Köln, making him the first Bundesliga player to score 5 goals in his opening 2 games. Dortmund knew they'd landed someone special in the club. The atmosphere was more than great, and all teammates were happy to have him around. He also had a good run in the Champions League, netting a brace in the opening match win against PSG. After scoring the second goal, he wowed the fans with a special celebration. He sat down like a monk meditating. By November 2020, he received the Golden Boy Award and was named the best under-21 player in Europe. Everything was perfectly fine for Haaland. But sadly, in December 2020, he was struck by an injury that meant a setback for him. During his injury, he spent much of his time on his phone and watched many YouTube videos. He stumbled on this channel and immediately subscribed to it. He also liked all the videos because he enjoyed them. You should do the same. Not to worry, Haaland got back on his feet and, of course, stronger. In his second season at Dortmund, he scored 41 goals in 27 matches in the Bundesliga and 10 goals in the Champions League, making him the tournament's top scorer. Even though Dortmund did not eventually win the trophy, the numbers were insane. He was named the best Bundesliga player of the year and helped Dortmund win the German Cup. After these achievements, one thing was sure. Suitors from different European leagues were begging for Haaland's signature and ready to break the bank. Manchester United, PSG, Bayern Munich, and some other big clubs were in contention for Haaland. But only one destination was on his mind: Manchester City, his father's former club. Before he set out on the journey to the next phase of his career, he took his former teammates at Dortmund out and got them a parting gift: a Rolex watch worth $15,000. He would certainly miss the boys. Now, the big question. The Premier League is reportedly the toughest in the world. Will Haaland thrive in the Premier League? Unlike some other teams he had played for, Haaland immediately sparked to life at Manchester City, scoring 9 goals in the first 5 league games. And in his first Champions League appearance in a Manchester City shirt, Haaland scored 5 fantastic goals against RB Leipzig. He immediately established himself as a first-choice striker at Manchester City. That's what he was signed for anyway. This guy is a record breaker. He has broken some records already, setting new ones at the age of 23. Only fate knows what will become of him in the future. In his first season at Manchester City, he set the record for the most goals in a Premier League campaign. And he put the icing on the cake. Haaland also won the Champions League, emerging as the competition's top scorer. For a guy at 23, Haaland's numbers are scary. But the big question is it safe to say that he is currently the best football striker in the world? Haaland is not the only one to impress at a young age. This other guy has proven his worth beyond all doubts, and even icons in the game can attest to that. Click this video to see what football legends really think of Lionel Messi.